Number 10. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. Deadpool.
Oh! Oh, hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie? I can't tell you, but it does rhyme with Pulverine.
Despite being one of the most likable movie stars in the business, Ryan Reynolds was hit with a barrage of box office bombs in the early 2010s. As he'll gladly tell you now, 2011's Green Lantern was far from the crowd pleaser DC had in mind for their iconic hero's first feature.
And please don't make the supersuit green. Or animated.
We knew he was right for the Merc with a Mouth, but the studio's botching of the character in X-Men Origins Wolverine hardly inspired confidence.
Wait, is that you? Stryker finally figured out how to shut you up.
Fortunately, he got the comics-accurate solo film we'd been dreaming of in 2016, and it did not disappoint. We just have to thank whoever released the test footage that got the ball rolling, whether or not that person's name rhymes with Schmeyen Schmenolds.
Besides, nobody's getting hurt. That guy was already up there when I got here.
Number 9. Keanu Reeves, John Wick. John Wick.
You, working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Oh, well. I'll leave you be then. Good night, John.
Good night, Jimmy.
We've known for a long time that Keanu Reeves can kick ass on film, as is evidenced by the first Matrix movie. However, the poor reception to that film's 2 sequels, and later duds like The Day the Earth Stood Still and 47 Ronin, signaled that perhaps the action star's best days were behind him, as expressed in the sad Keanu memes. Though we never thought of him as a powerhouse actor, ardent fans of his hoped the perfect role for him would come around. Someone must have been listening as the John Wick movies slowly evolved from sleeper hits to blockbuster sensations.
Hey, John.
Hey, Harry.
Everything all right?
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Reeves' mania has gotten so big, in fact, that a Matrix 4 practically went from being a long shot to a done deal.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Number 8. Michael Keaton, Regan Thompson, Birdman.
And the next time you screech, it'll explode into millions of eardrums. You'll glimmer on thousands of screens around the globe.
Back in the day, people were skeptical of Keaton's casting as the Caped Crusader in Tim Burton's Batman movie, though many were silenced when they saw him don the cape and cowl on the big screen. After a single sequel, Keaton stepped away from the franchise, which got significantly worse while Keaton did, well, Jack Frost.
You the man!
No, you the man!
Nope, I'm the snowman!
Keaton stayed relatively quiet for much of the 2000s, but we're sure the meta-commentary on his career in 2014's Birdman was too good to pass up.
Listen, hold on. That wasn't an accident. What do you mean?
I made it happen.
Oh, okay.
The film was a critical sensation, ultimately winning Best Picture and making Keaton an Oscar nominee. Since then, Keaton has been in a slew of big movies, in addition to being another bird-themed character in a superhero movie as the MCU's Vulture.
There you go, Mason.
Business is good.
Number 7. Matthew McConaughey, Ron Woodruff, Dallas Buyers Club.
Screw the FDA. I'm gonna be DOA. I gotta sue the hospital to get my medicine?
For much of his career, Matthew McConaughey was ridiculed for making a throng of lazy romantic comedies, from Failure to Launch to Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
It'd have been the end of me. So I cut it short.
Then a little thing called The McConaissance happened, which started slow with movies like The Lincoln Lawyer and Mud, allowing McConaughey to reveal his acting chops in a big way. It crested it in 2013 when he gave an absolutely transformative performance in Dallas Buyers Club, which saw him pick up numerous critic accolades, culminating in an Oscar for Best Actor. Now we live in a world where McConaughey starring in serious projects like Interstellar and True Detective isn't taken as jokes, but as good marketing ploys, to which we can only say,
All right.
Number 6. Mickey Rourke, Marv, Sin City.
No reason at all to play it quiet.
No reason to play it any way but my way.
While you could argue that his Oscar-nominated turn in 2008's The Wrestler put Mickey Rourke back in the winner's circle, we maintain that came a little earlier in 2005 with Frank Miller's Sin City. In the neo-noir thriller, he plays Marv, a hard-hitting brute out for revenge and to clear his name for the death of his lover. Though the ensemble film has plenty of memorable characters, he was especially so, as he adopted the tough guy persona we'd know him for then on. In typical career resurgence fashion, he then joined a superhero movie in Iron Man 2, and even reprised his role as Marv in 2014's Sin City: A Dame to Kill For.
Looks like trouble.
Looks like Christmas.
Number 5. Robert Pattinson, Connie Nikas. Good Time.
You guys could have done that without you standing next to me being strong.
No.
You feeling this? Are you feeling the good as I'm feeling right now?
For much of his early career, Robert Pattinson couldn't be mentioned without someone groaning at his identification with the Twilight Saga. Though many defend his involvement citing poor source material, Pattinson spent the better part of 5 years trying to clear his name. Earning consistently decent marks for several lesser-known indies, it was inevitable that one would put him over the top. And that came in 2017 with Good Time.
I think I was a dog in a previous life. In fact, I know I was. That's why they love me so much.
Pattinson gave a commandingly manic performance as a criminal evading capture all throughout New York City. Along with The Lighthouse, this gave Pattinson the freedom to basically do whatever he wanted. And apparently what he wants is to be the next on-screen Batman. There's that role again.
You don't know what I'm talking about at all.
Number 4. Drew Barrymore, Casey Becker. Scream.
Wait, don't hang up.
What?
I want to talk to you for a second.
Long referred to as America's sweetheart, then child actress Drew Barrymore fell out of fashion in her adolescence due to issues attributed to a troubled upbringing. By the time Scream came out in 1996, people were intrigued to see what she would do in her 20s as the star of a meta-satirical slasher movie.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
They were in for a huge surprise as the movie's biggest draw was killed off in the opening scene. Naturally, it was a small part, but boy was it the shocking, memorable one she was looking for. She springboarded off that into a career as a romantic comedy lead in films like The Wedding Singer and Never Been Kissed. Suffice it to say, Drew's still got us screaming. Number 3. Marlon Brando, Vito Corleone. The Godfather.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Everyone knew Brando was a heavyweight actor from the get-go with his early work in movies like A Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront, the latter of which he won an Oscar for in 1955.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
However, the 60s saw Brando grow increasingly cynical towards the craft, as an uncharacteristic multi-picture studio signing led to a string of disappointing flops. Despite his infamy for being difficult to work with, Brando transcended all criticisms in 1972 with his embodiment of Mafia Don Vito Corleone in The Godfather.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Brando commanded the screen yet again, winning his second Oscar and later proved that some of his best work was still ahead with Apocalypse Now. Though the less said about the island of Dr. Moreau, the better.
This is the most outrageous spectacle I have ever witnessed. Look at yourself.
I understand that I must be shocking to you.
Number 2. John Travolta, Vincent Vega, Pulp Fiction.
But you saying a foot massage don't mean nothing. I'm saying it does. And look, I given 1 million ladies 1 million foot massages, and they all meant something.
Back in the 70s, John Travolta could do nothing wrong with back-to-back hits in Saturday Night Fever and Grease. However, the 80s were not so kind, as his sequel to the former Staying Alive was panned by critics.
Well, in case you don't know this, I used to be pretty incredible myself when I lived in Brooklyn.
Really? What happened?
I moved to Manhattan.
Director Quentin Tarantino has made a career building back up the careers of former stars, but it all started with John Travolta as the alliteratively named Vincent Vega in 1994's Pulp Fiction. Without this, we probably wouldn't have gotten another fan-favorite performance of his in Face Off. Of course, Travolta would soon re-tarnish his image in the year 2000 with Battlefield Earth, from which his career has never fully recovered. But that doesn't take away from this entry's impact.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go home and have a heart attack.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Adam Sandler, Howard Ratner, Uncut Gems, because he turned his manic mannerisms into a captivating character.
I know that. I was stupid. I'm done. It means nothing. It meant nothing. Please. I'm begging you, just give me another shot.
Jennifer Lopez, Ramona Vega, Hustlers, because she proved she can play a nuanced persona.
Oh, baby, this game is rigged. And it does not reward people who play by the rules. You either gotta stand in the corner or get in the ring.
Kristen Stewart, Valentine, Clouds of Sils Maria, because she strutted her stuff post-Twilight.
The text is like an object. It's gonna change perspective based on where you're standing. I don't know.
Renee Zellweger, Judy Garland, Judy, because she reminded people she can headline a movie and win awards.
I love you all. You won't forget me, will you? Promise you won't.
Number 1, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, Iron Man. Could it really have been anyone else? As is now public knowledge, Robert Downey Jr. went through a severe dark period in the late 90s and early 2000s that saw him battle numerous drug addictions.
You have a lot of nerve showing up here tonight. Can I at least get a reaction from you?
Panic. I would say panic.
This took a huge toll on his career, and people were genuinely shocked by his casting as Marvel's Iron Man despite his recently sustained sobriety.
I'm just not the hero type, clearly, with this laundry list of character defects, all the mistakes I made, largely public.
All reservations evaporated when the film was released, as Downey rode a wave of critical acclaim as the star of one of the best superhero movies of all time. From this, the highest-grossing movie franchise was shaped in the form of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which employed Downey for an additional 11 years and made him one of the highest-paid stars on the planet.
I am Iron Man.